is going to be Night of Champions. Like I said, it's going to be 8 days after the SmackDown. It's going to be coming up. Saudi Arabia, WWE, honestly, they've really got no problem saying Saudi Arabia. I think it was only about 5 years ago. WWE got a lot of press when this deal with them first came out about them taking blood money. It got to the point where WWE didn't want to even say where the show was. But I remember those first shows where the guys were like sitting on couches. It seemed like ringside. They've come a long way. I don't know if they have it like in different arenas or it's always been in the same arena. I don't even know if it's in the same city. I always just say Saudi Arabia. So I don't know if it's a show that kind of just moves around. But at first it was like Saudi Arabia wanted to show the rest of the world that they were just like us and they were just like normal people that liked wrestling and they wanted to see these stars. And then of course, the weird news came out after the world's greatest, or was it the world's biggest? Whatever it was, the world's Royal Rumble, where they had a second Royal Rumble over there. It was won by Braun Strowman. And, the weird request came out from Saudi Arabia. They wanted Andre the Giant. They wanted Yokozuna. They wanted all of these, old past superstars that, like, they didn't know where to cease and they moved on. But I'll give it to Saudi Arabia. They're getting one of the hottest matches that WWE has up their sleeve. At Money in the Bank 2011, when it was announced that John Cena was going on his retirement tour, which didn't really get announced the best way. I thought he was retiring at WrestleMania. I thought he was announcing he was only coming back for one match, and then all of a sudden, in the press conference, he kind of like stated it differently, that he was coming back for a year tour. At that point, WWE hadn't canceled house shows, so I thought he was going to go like on a house show tour. But John's been around. He's been around a lot. He is the only superstar that has been on every pay-per-view. He was on Rumble. He was on Night of Champions. He was on WrestleMania. He was on Backlash. This guy has worked, and he has worked a lot, especially when it comes to earlier when I was talking about TKO kind of taking easier schedules on a lot of guys to prolong their career. It shows that Cena wants to do this. I think he knows he's not going to be able to do it forever, and that's why he was throwing in the towel now, and he wants to have one hell of a run. His gimmick of saying that he is the last real champion, that I think he wants to leave wrestling in a better spot than it was. And I wish people believed in Cena as a heel more than they do. I think for as much as people booed Cena and went on the internet and cried, I'm sure you can like look up my videos and say that it would make a lot of sense to turn John Cena heel. I think that people, as much as they booed it and they went crazy about Cena's wrestling back in the day, they miss it. It's gotten to the point where they want to see the 5 moves of doom, and they want to see him get beat down. They want to see him get thrown through every obstacle there is in the book, and then all of a sudden, when all the chips are on the table, they get I still call it the FU. It's the attitude adjustment, and the you can't see me. I think that's what they want to be doing. And I think that if Cena did do a face year of him just being babyface, people would have, cried about him. They want to see him heel. They want to see him heel. So I think there was almost like a no-win situation for him. But I think that when we look back on this run in a year, 2 years, 3 years, I think people will realize that this run from John Cena was pretty damn smart, and we got some damn good matches out of it. So I hope that Punk has one hell of a night out there. Punk's had really, really good matches. I think the match against Rollins on Monday Night Raw was a big classic that sort of kicked off the Netflix era of wrestling. We don't get to see matches like that, especially when they were on USA back in the day. And I think everybody on that first Raw just wanted to make sure that they knew that one was something that was going to be remembered. They're not going to be putting out like DVD or Blu-ray sets, but I mean, if they were, I'm sure that show was one that people would want on their. I don't even know what's coming up, the 30th anniversary, 40th anniversary of Raw. I just remember that silver set that came out with like 10 various episodes. They were from the beginning, they were from the Attitude Era, the Glory Days. It just had good Raws on there. That thing was awesome. And if they were to make an updated set, I'm sure that first one would be there. I mean, how often do we get to see Roman Reigns have a real match, even if it's against Solo Sikoa? But Night of Champions, it comes down to it. I mean, I don't want to see this match broken up, or R-Truth makes another mistake and helps John Cena. But that's what I feel like it's really going to come down to. I don't think that they're going to have Punk lose due to Cena just hitting him in the face with the belt shot. But I think that they find a way for Cena to win. They keep him happy. I think that I'm still going to keep pushing for this 6-pack challenge with John Cena. And I could honestly see Punk as one of the names in there. Maybe not him. Maybe it's like Orton, Cody, Uso, R-Truth, Punk. It could be something like that.